What's up, everybody? So my hair's a mess right now, but I don't care. I'm driving, but yeah, I had to show you guys this. I just scored on OfferUp. This whole week has been insane. On Wednesday at the swap meet, I scored Chubby Cherub with a couple other games for 50 bucks. You know, not an amazing score, but a decent deal. And then the next day, right after that, I followed a Craigslist that I've been talking to, this guy on Craigslist, and I scored the Cryon Conquest, Where's Waldo, Cliffhanger on the NES, which is very uncommon, Stunt Racer 64, and Road Rash, Road Rash 64, but the gray variant for 125, which amazing deal for that. And then just right now, what I wanted to show you guys, I hit up OfferUp, and today's Friday, so I'm gonna, you know, this is garage sale day pretty much. I mean, I don't hit garage sales too much on Fridays, but I do what I can. So I hit OfferUp, and this guy had a stack of games, and on the top like a, you know, little folder with disc only games. So this was on the top, Xenosaga 3. Great score in itself, $5. I got that one. So I asked him, you know, could you bring out the little folder? I'm digging through the folder, the third game in. Insane, insane. Rule of Rose. Ask him how much. He said the disc onlys are $1 each. $1 for Rule of Rose. Cannot believe that. I mean, insane. So I'm beyond ecstatic right now. This week has been just nothing but amazing scores. So yeah, tomorrow I'm gonna go garage sailing, and hopefully, you know, the week continues, the trend continues. Maybe I'll find that Little Samson. Maybe this is my week. Little Samson, Flintstone Surprise at Dinosaur Peak. One of those two would be amazing to find. I mean, you never know. Stadium events, that would be crazy, but I'm not trying to ask for too much. One of those other two games would be amazing to find in the wild. So yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Good morning, everybody. Saturday morning, and the first stop I got was at a storage unit yard sale, and I got the GameCube and a Saturn controller for $5. And then for $7 I got some Wii controllers, a charge stand thing, this Game Boy Advance, and it's got like, what is this, Finding Nemo, I think. Yeah, Finding Nemo, and then there's some other kids game, and then Spyro the Dragon, and then this is Wii Sports and Mario Kart. So not bad for $7. We're just freestyling it today, me and my good luck charm here. So we don't really have a plan of where we're going. We're map questing a place right now, so we'll see if that pays off. So yeah, I'll let you guys know if I find anything else. Okay. She doesn't like being on camera too much, but she is so a good luck charm. We stopped at the sale on our way to another sale. Didn't think anything of it. Asked the lady, you know, if she had any video games, and she was saying something about like a PS2 or something. You know, her husband, we were waiting for him to get home. So he gets home. Meanwhile, I found the box that had a bunch of PS1 games in it. Castlevania Symphony of the Night, Silent Hill, Legend of Dragoon, Heart of Darkness, just the list goes on. Amazing stuff. He gets there, he's like, I found two boxed Dreamcast mouses, and then he gets there, and I asked him, you know, if he had Nintendo, and he brings out a box full of Nintendo games. This, I don't know if you guys can see in there, that's the PS1 stuff. This is a few PS2 Slims and some. Head west games on West Citrus Street toward Bryn Mawr Court. That's where I'm going. The box, Dreamcast. I don't think he had any games. I didn't check any, but no games in there. But there's Nintendo games here. All of this stuff, all of this amazing stuff, $60. This is why I love doing yard sales. No way I could ever find this stuff like at a, you know, a thrift store or a pawn shop or a video game store. $60? I mean, there's like 35, almost 40 NES games in there, I think. I mean, there's an NES, there's a Dreamcast, there's like 5 PlayStation 2s, 2 PS1s, a PS3. There's a PS3 in there. $60, all of it. His wife was so ecstatic because he got rid of all of it. So big thanks to her, because bringing her with, man, oh my God. I don't care if I find anything else. This is it. This is the day right here. This the mega score. So I mean, we're gonna keep going, but we're gonna go get some coffee. So I will get back to you if I find anything else. All right, guys, I thought this day wouldn't get any better. We stopped at a yard sale and the lady asked her neighbor, because she knew her neighbor had games, and holy freaking crap, for 40 bucks, I got Super Nintendo, the GameCube, and the N64, and then these games. Let's see if you guys can see the gem in the middle. DuckTales 2! They were saying all these other crazy games that they had, like all the Dragon Warriors, they had all RPGs on Super Nintendo, but they couldn't find them. So she's gonna call me. Here are the keys. She's gonna call me when they find all that stuff. So I can't wait. DuckTales 2 for 40 bucks. Oh my God. I think that's it. I don't want to press my luck anymore, so we're gonna go home. I'll get everything together and show you guys what I got. What's up, everybody? So all done with garage sales, and man, this has probably been one of my best weeks ever. This video, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you stuff that I found from Wednesday to Sunday. It was insane. Just 5 days, 5 solid days of finding rare games. Just amazing week. Garage sales were insane, crazy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with what I found on Wednesday that kicked off my week of just amazing finds. Okay, so go to the swap meet, and like usual, like I've been saying, there just hasn't really been anything. So this was the last place that I went right before I was about to leave. I was leaving, and I saw an N64 on the table, and I asked the guy, you have any games? And he's like, yeah, I have a lot. So I start looking through them, a bunch of NES games, a bunch of Xbox games, nothing crazy, except there was one game in there that was amazing. I asked him how much he wanted. He said $400 for the whole. It wasn't even close to $400 for what was in there. So I was like, I changed it up, and I was like, okay, well, I picked out a box of games, and I said, would you sell just these? And he's like, no. So then I picked out 3 games, including the really rare one, and I changed it up, and I said, I'll give you 10 bucks each. And he was like, no. And I was like, come on, man, it's not going to affect the bundle. You're still going to be able to sell the bundle, because I left all the Marios, I left the Zeldas, the stuff that most people, when they buy that stuff, that's what they look for. So, changed it up, and he was like, 50 bucks. And I was like, come on, man, like, cut me a deal here, like 40 bucks, And he's like, no, if you want them, 50 bucks. And I was thinking in my head, okay, well, that game's really rare, worth more than that, so screw it. I did it, 50 bucks. So I got 3 games, one of which I didn't have in my collection. Sesame Street Countdown 2, or not 2, just Sesame Street Countdown. Didn't have it. I have all the other Sesame Street games, but I didn't have that one. Balloon Fight, pretty decent game, good for trade. And then the whole reason behind the 50 bucks, Chubby Cherub. Not a very easy game to find. I already had it, so use it. It's good to use for trade bait or sell to put more into the collection, and that's what I did. So okay, so that was it for Wednesday. Now Thursday comes along. I've been talking to this guy on Craigslist for quite a while, probably a week, and it's just been back and forth. I went over there one time, and he ended up not being there. He told me he was, and it was just a back and forth type of thing. So I didn't think the deal was going to go through. Well, he had a whole bunch of games and stuff. Well, when I got there, he kind of, I don't know, was weird with his prices, and like he had looked a bunch of stuff up. So I knew it wasn't going to be anything cheap. Well, I'm looking through the NES games and the N64 games, and he had some decent stuff. We were able to come to a deal. I paid $125 for these 5 games. I mean, it sounds like a lot, but there's some decent stuff in here. First off, Where's Waldo? Now this one's a funny one because I didn't have this game, and I found it at a garage sale on Saturday, so now I have 2 copies of this game. Now that game I just got because I didn't have. The rest of these are uncommon. First off, we got Cliffhanger for the NES. Super uncommon game. They made it on the Super Nintendo as well. So obviously this version didn't sell as much, so that's why this one's really uncommon. Didn't have that one. Next, basically a Mega Man clone. Insanely awesome game. Love this game. Been looking for it for a while. The price is crazy up there, so he had it. The Cryon Conquest. And then two N64 games. The gray variant of Road Rash 64. Didn't have that one. That one's a little bit more expensive than the black variant. And then this game shot up in value like crazy. Got this one basically just to recoup what I was paying for everything else. So basically all of the stuff that I was gonna, these other 4 games I'm gonna keep. Stunt Racer 64. So I mean, this game is insanely up there. This one is my copy because I already got rid of the other one. So pretty decent. So $125 for those. We were going through on eBay and stuff, and we looked up like sold listings, and he cut off a lot of the price. So I think I got a really great deal on these for $125. I know it's a lot of money to spend on just 5 games, but that one is around that price to begin with. So pretty decent. Now these ones are basically free. And like I said, the Cryon Conquest, I've been looking for that game for a while. It's not easy to find, and it's an amazing game. Basically, like I said, a Mega Man clone. Insanely great game. So pretty happy to have these. Okay, so that was day 2 of you know, rare, hard to find games. This one I'm not really putting in rare, hard to find, but this was the same night as when did I actually, no, this was Friday night, I think. Yeah, this was Friday night, so I'll show that after. Okay, so this was Friday. This was in the morning, probably I think around 11. I was looking on OfferUp, and there's a guy who posted a bunch of PS2 games, $5 each. Very top game, Xenosaga 3. That's a great deal for $5. This one goes for a lot more than $5. Didn't have this game, so went there just to get this one. I noticed on top of the stack of PS2 games, he also had a folder full of games, just disc-only games. So I asked him, you know, if he could bring that down there when I came over there. So he brought it down, and I'm looking through, and the third game in the stack, when I was flipping through the games, the hardest to find PS2 game, Rule of Rose. Insane. I mean, insane. Now, it sucks that it doesn't have the case, but, you know, still, this is a great game. Amazing if you're collecting horror titles. This game is one to have. Ask him how much he wants, you know, for the disc-only games. $1. I paid $1 for Rule of Rose. Cannot believe that this was in there. Because all the rest of the games he had were like kids games. You know, weird stuff. So the fact that he had Rule of Rose, I mean, it was just... I almost lost my mind right there when I found it. So for $1, I mean, you can't beat that. And then a little while later, I went to the Goodwill and picked this up just because it's a long box. I mean, it's nothing special in the zone, but I didn't have it, and I like collecting long box PS1 games. So that was Friday. So that's 3 days in a row of just rare finds. Insane. Friday night, I got a call back from somebody I went and bought that huge amount of Xbox games. And he had this, and he called me back finally and wanted to sell it. So for $45, I got a complete in-box N64 with the atomic purple controller. Box is in really nice shape as well. And then the last 3 games that he had, Turok, Battle Tanks, and Triple Play 2000. So $45 for that. Okay, now let's get to the good stuff. Saturday comes along, and I kind of had a few ideas of where I was gonna go, but not you know, crazy. So there was a community sale at a storage unit again. So went there, and wasn't really anything. There was one guy I usually buy stuff from, and he had a couple things. So for $5, I got a black GameCube, system only, and a Sega Saturn controller. $5, not a bad deal. So we leave there, and we're near this town that was, you know, was pretty close to where we were. So I was like, you know, let's go there. So that's what we did, and it was pretty great day. So let's see. After that score, there was this one. Pull up to a sale that no, I don't think we were map questing a sale, and I think we found this one. So I pull up, and I didn't even see this. My girlfriend saw it, and I stepped right over, and she's like, "Babe, look," you know. And I looked down, and it was a bunch of Wii stuff. So for $7, yeah, $7, I got 2 Wiimotes, a nunchuck, the battery for the Wiimotes to charge the controllers, 2 Game Boy Advance games. We got Fairly Odd Parents, Shadow Showdown, and Finding Nemo, a GBA. It was missing the back. Spyro the Dragon, and then 2 Wii games. We got Wii Sports. This is complete in really nice condition. And then, so drop it. Mario Kart Wii, just disc only. So pretty decent. Not bad for $7. Then there was something else that I found right after that. No, maybe not. Okay, so next is the big boy bundle. Like I said, we're freestyling, and I find this sale. Pull up, not thinking much of it, and I walk up and ask, you know, I walk up, and immediately this is the first thing that I see. These were set on the table just like this. 2 in-box Dreamcast mouses. I mean, I never see these ever, so it was pretty cool to see these. So that sparked my interest, like, okay, maybe he's got Dreamcast games. So I asked the lady, did you guys happen to have any games for the Dreamcast? And she said no, she knows her husband has a Dreamcast, but she doesn't think he has any games, and she knows he has a PS2. So she said her husband wasn't there, but he was on his way back. So I'm looking around, and I find a box full of PS1 and some PS2 games. So I was looking through, you know, she's like, yeah, go ahead, look through them. I'm looking through them, and she's finding a bunch of amazing games. And finally he shows up, and I asked him, you know, if he had any Dreamcast games, and he said no. And I was like, well, do you have any Nintendo games? He's like, oh yeah, I got a box full of Nintendo stuff. He's like, let me go grab it. So I'm looking through this stuff, and I'm piling up my stuff. Meanwhile, there's a couple behind me, and they're just watching me. So pile everything together, look at the Nintendo stuff, and I ask him how much you want for all of it. And he's like, oh, all of it? And kind of freaked me out a little bit, like he was going to say some, you know, high price, you know, more than what I brought with me. And he was like, for everything, I'll do $60. And I was like, done. So I gave him the $60, and we grabbed all the boxes and stuff, and we were out of there. So this is the big lot. So I'll show you the PS2, stuff like that. There's some disc only, 1 PS3 game. Actually, I'll show you the systems first. We've got Dreamcast. This one had everything except the controller was broken. A PS1, and it comes with all the stuff for the Game Shark, including the disc, which is actually kind of hard to find. So all of these need to be cleaned. PS1 Slim. We've got 4 PS2 Slims, and then a PS3 Slim, and then also the Nintendo. Pretty clean. There's a game that's stuck in here. I gotta open it up and get it out, but just Monopoly. Alright, so then some of the games. For PS3, this is the only PS3 game. Call of Duty Ghosts. A bunch of disc-only stuff. Okay, we've got Sonic Heroes and Star Wars Battlefront 2. Star Wars Force Unleashed and Terminator 3. Shrek Treasure Hunt for the PS1. Toy Story Racer. Some of these games were in the systems. Caesar's Palace 2000. This game is this is a decent game, pretty high up in value too. Def Jam Fight for NY. NFL Street 3. Tony Hawk's American Wasteland. Madden 2005. Killzone. Midway Arcade Treasures. Grand Theft Auto Vice City, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, Major League Baseball 2K5, and ATV Off-Road. Those are the disc-onlys. PS2 games. This one's pretty cool because I didn't have it, and I don't ever see this one. So Midway Arcade Treasures 3. God of War. Most of these are all complete. Legacy of Kain. Tekken 5, Ghost Rider, Showdown Legends of Wrestling, Star Wars Episode 3, Robotech Invasion, God of War, Grand Theft Auto Liberty City Stories, and Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. And the PS1 games was where it was at. Here's some decent ones right here. Heart of Darkness, that one is complete. Although it is missing the 3D glasses. This game did come with 3D glasses, but they're not in here. I actually already have this one with the 3D glasses, so. Darkstone. I had this one disc only, and it's nice to have it complete now. Very decent one right here. It's missing the back art, but it has the manual, and I didn't have the manual for mine. Silent Hill, so stoked to get that one. Here we go. Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Missing the manual sucks because it's the black label, but that's still in there. Dino Crisis 2. Didn't have that one, so stoked to put that one in the collection. Let's see. I think this is the only one in there. We got a Pizza Hut game. You can only get that at Pizza Hut back in the day. Tetris Plus. Grand Theft Auto Director's Cut, and it's all in there. Most of these, like I said, are all complete. So, Siphon Filter 2, Driver 2, decent one right here. It's just missing the manual. Legend of Dragoon, Medal of Honor. That one's missing the back art. Power Rangers Time Force, Air Combat, Soviet Strike, Spec Ops Covert Assault. I didn't have a lot of these, so it's nice. Shrek Treasure Hunt. For the most part, for the PS1, I collect all of them except the sports games, because I don't, except maybe a couple of the ones that I like. Colony Wars Vengeance, IHRA Motorsports Drag Racing. That one's pretty sweet. Nuclear Strike, another good one that I didn't have. Rugrats Search for Reptar. It's actually a decent one. Siphon Filter. Need for Speed V-Rally. And Die Hard Trilogy. Okay, that's all the PS1 games. Now let's get to the Nintendo games. There was a bunch in here. So, Where's Waldo? And this copy is nicer than the one that I picked up, so this will be the one that I'm keeping. Wheel of Fortune. Oops, sorry guys. Wheel of Fortune, didn't have that one. Baseball. Super Mario Bros. 3. Alpha Mission. Dr. Mario. Pretty decent games in here. They're really clean too. They got marker and stuff, but they're all cleaned off. Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Othello, another one I didn't have. Mario Bros. Duck Hunt. Major League Baseball. Skate or Die. Rad Racer. That's probably the worst condition one. Mario Bros. Duck Hunt and Track Meet. Tetris. Super Mario Bros. 2. This one's uncommon for sure. Miracle Piano. Okay, here's a very decent one. Bubble Bobble. Wish it was Bubble Bobble 2 because I don't have that game yet. It'd be nice to find in the wild. Tiger Heli. Chip and Dale. Another great game right there. Top Gun. Track and Field. Double Dribble. World Class Track Meet. And then there was this cleaner. And then all the controllers. There was the Dreamcast controller, but like I said, it was pretty messed up. So I might be able to fix it, but I don't know. The other parts are in here. But all the connections and stuff like that. And there was the zapper and 2 controllers. So that was it for that bundle. That was, like I said, $60. Insane deal. Crazy, crazy deal. Okay, so this was right after. I paid, yeah, this one was right after that. $3 for this. Or, didn't know I got these first. I got these right before this one. So I paid $6, $3 each. Voodoo Vince. I have that one disc only, so now got it complete. And that's a good game right there. Kind of hard to find. And then WrestleMania 21, just because, you know, these are the only two he had, so I just picked them both up. Next sale, these were sitting out right next to a PS Vita. Asked her how much. She asked her son, and he said $3. So for $3, I got Star Wars: The Clone Wars. This was inside of there. And then the Game Boy player disc. So just insane, crazy. Alright, so next is another, this is day 4 right here of rare finds. Now after that big bundle, I was like, you know, that's cool, you know, amazing day. So I didn't expect this to happen. So I walk up to a sale, and meanwhile, my girlfriend, she made a joke, like, the sale at first didn't look like anything. It just looked up like a pile of stuff in somebody's yard. She's like, oh, look, there's like some trash over there. That might be a yard sale. Just joking, and, you know, I passed by it. So then I got to thinking, like, maybe I should go check and see if that was a yard sale. And it was. So I asked the lady, and she said she had stuff in storage, but nothing at the house. But her neighbor might have stuff. So she walked over, asked her. She's like, yeah, you can come over here and talk to her. And I walk up, and she's like, yeah, I have a little bit of everything. So what were you interested in? I was like, all of it. I mean, whatever you got, I'll check it out. So she went in the house for a little while and was digging through, and she brought out 3 systems. This GameCube, you know, nothing in it, no game, no nothing. They bought it from the Goodwill or Salvation Army. They don't know if it works. A Super Nintendo. This was the only one that came with all cables and a controller, and then an N64 with just the cables. And I was like, okay, cool. Did you happen to have like any games? And she was like, well, we got a bunch of NES games in there, but like as far as like everything else, Super Nintendo. She said they have a box full of Super Nintendo games, but they were in a back closet and it was kind of blocked off by stuff. And then N64, they didn't really have too many N64 games, but they had some Nintendo games that she said that were right there. So I asked her, you know, if she could grab them. She was like, sure. So she comes out, and this was the stack that she brought me. And this is exactly how it was. Mario is missing, which I did not have. Uncommon game. Not super crazy like Mario's Time Machine for the NES, but still, I didn't have it, and that's the whole point of this, is finding games that I didn't have for my collection. Rygar, and then the big boy, DuckTales 2. I couldn't believe this was in there. I was just blown away. So I'll show these other ones. I don't think I have this one. Athena, Dragon Spirit, and then Adventures of Tom Sawyer. So I asked her, you know, how much she wanted for it, and then she calls for her mom. All of this stuff was actually her mom's stuff. It was her mom that plays the game. She was talking to me, telling me, you know, they have a bunch of RPGs. They had just about every RPG on the Super Nintendo. They said a lot of stuff got stolen from, you know, the person they thought was their close friend. So that really sucks, actually, but it happens. But she said, you know, they still have some pretty good stuff. She said she had all the Dragon Warriors on the NES, but she wouldn't let go of any of those because that was her favorite game. So I asked them how much, and she's like, I don't know, $40? Done. $40, I was down with that. I mean, I've never found DuckTales 2 in the wild. So my copy that I had, I got it for trade at the SoCal Retro Gaming Expo, like the first one that they had. So I swapped them out because the fact that I found this one in the wild is a much better story and means more to me than, you know, getting one that I traded for. So was pretty sweet. So that just made my day. I couldn't believe that. That was the last find for garage sales. Pretty just amazing, you know, super crazy. So that was day 4 of rare finds. Now, I didn't think, you know, there was going to be a day 5. Me and my girlfriend went out, you know, just spent time with each other, went hiking and stuff like that on Sunday. Later in the day, I was looking on, what was it, Craigslist, and somebody posted an ad for a PS2 with a bunch of PS1 and some PS2 games. Now, the reason that I wanted to go was because I saw this game, Castlevania Symphony of the Night. The game's not in there, it's just the case, so he threw the case in. But he had some other decent titles. So, we're looking through them, and he wanted $30 for everything, so I offered him 20 without the PS2, and he was like, you know, yeah, that's, you know, he was he was happy to do that because he kind of wanted to keep the PS2 itself, but he didn't care about the games. He had a couple other PS2 games that he liked, some like sports games and stuff. So he was happy to do that. So I got all these games for 20 bucks. First, I'll show you the PS2 games. We've got Kingdom Hearts, and that was Kingdom Hearts 2, and this is Kingdom Hearts, and Lowrider. And then PS1, these ones are in the case. We've got Mega Man 8. All the cases are really jacked up, but I can switch them out. Spyro the Dragon, which in itself for 20 bucks is a great deal. This one is actually kind of valuable, like harder to find, and I don't have it, so I'm definitely going to keep this one. Warpath, Jurassic Park, WWF Attitude, SmackDown 2, A Bug's Life, Rayman 2, Tarzan, Dragon Ball Z Ultimate Battle 22, another one I didn't have right here, Small Soldiers, NCAA Final 4, SmackDown, and WWF Warzone. And then there were some disc onlys, and this was where I didn't know that he had these, but these were some decent ones. I'll show you the PS1 games right after, because there's an amazing one in here. Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, Jak 3, I think I have the cases for some of these, Simpsons Road Rage, Maximo, and Escape from Monkey Island. The PS1 games. There's one game in here that is just, I couldn't believe it was in there. It sucks that it doesn't have the case. He said that at one point in time he thought he was never going to get rid of this stuff, so he threw away a bunch of the cases and put them in a folder. It sucks that he had to throw away the game for the rare one. Crash Bandicoot, decent game. Pitball. Another copy of Dino Crisis 2. This game is pretty hard to find, and now I have 2 copies of it. This one's disc only. And then the amazing find right here. Cannot believe this game was in there. And when I saw it, I was just like, whoa. The Adventures of Lomax. This game is super uncommon. Really, really hard to find. I mean, I'm thinking it's, you know, right up there with Tron Bonne of how rare it is. You never see it. You can go on eBay and only see like 6 listings for it. Now it sucks that it doesn't have the case, because I'll probably never find an empty case for this one. But still, I mean, this game is really rare, and I didn't have it. It's definitely going in the collection. I'm going to hold on to it. I'll probably just get a case made for it. But it's crazy to find this game in the wild. And like I said, I think it's, you know, up there with like Tron Bonne and stuff like that, you know, so pretty rare. So that makes day 5 of just rare finds, and I've never had a week like that before, where even just one rare game is hard sometimes, and the fact that I found 5 days in a row just a rare game from different consoles is, I'm so thankful and glad that I can do this, and that's why I do this. That's why I go to garage sales and why I hunt, because you find stuff like this that, you know, otherwise you would have to pay a whole bunch of money for. So definitely happy that I was able to have such a great garage sale weekend and great week finding stuff. But yeah, that is everything. Just amazing week, amazing epic finds. This is an epic week. So crazy. Okay, so next month, I believe it's the 5th or the 6th. I keep forgetting, but it's the first Sunday of November. Pixel Vault is going to have a trade event, so definitely, if you guys are in the Ontario area, definitely come down. It's going to be, you know, amazing. It's always amazing. So definitely come down, bring your trades, you know, stuff you want to sell, whatever, you know, just come and hang out. But definitely come down and check it out. But that's all that I got for you guys for this week. So thumbs up the video, comment, subscribe, and thanks for watching. See you guys next time.